Simulan mong abutin ang iyong pangarap na magbibigay dangal sa iyong bukas. Ang suliranin, hindi laging nandyan, dapat mong harapin. Kami iyong kasama sa bawat takin, magkaakbay nating lulutasin. Dito sa Fernandino Teens TV, ang boses mo ay mahalaga. Dito sa Fernandino Teens TV, ikaw lagi ang bida. Ang mga aral ay ginintuang atin ng bawat guro na siyang gagabay sa iyong pagkamulat. Naway umukit ito sa iyong isipan, maging mapanuri, sundin ng wasto at nararapat. Kagandahang asal ang ipakita, ipadama ang pusong may malasakit. Dito sa Fernandino Teens TV, ang boses mo ay mahalaga. Dito sa Fernandino Teens TV, ikaw lagi ang bida. Sakali mang tayo'y subukin ng unos, ating haharapin ng walang takot. Sasamahan ka ni Fernan at Dino, ang bagong barkada mo. Dito sa Fernandino Teens TV, boses mo ay mahalaga. Dito sa Fernandino Teens TV, edukasyon mo'y sigurado na. Dito sa Fernandino Teens TV, boses mo ay mahalaga. Dito sa Fernandino Teens TV, edukasyon mo'y sigurado na.
Fernandino Teens TV.
Uy, Dino, anong petsa na? Kailangan na nating matapos itong report. Deadline na ito bukas.
Oo nga, wala tayong maipe-present bukas tungkol sa pagkakaiba ng inductive reasoning sa deductive reasoning kay ma'am kapag hindi natin natapos ang presentation ng ating report.
Sandali lang naman. Nakakahilo kayang magbasa at mag-isip ng conclusion sa isang hypothesis at ipapaliwanag mo pa kung ano ang rason o dahilan bakit ganoon ang conclusion na ilalagay ko sa given na hypothesis. Hay,
Sa bagay, hindi nga biro ang magbasa at mag-analyze ng isang hypothesis para mabigyan ito ng conclusion.
Halika kayo at sabay-sabay nating tunghayan ang panibagong episode na magtuturo sa atin kung paano gawing simple at magaan ang pagbibigay ng conclusion sa isang argument. Tara!
let's watch and learn.
Rise and shine, Fernandino Teens! Welcome to another episode of Fernandino Teens TV Season 2. I hope that you and your family are safe and doing well at home. I am Ma'am Rosemarie BONDOC, your mathematics teacher for today. Before we begin the lesson today, let me ask you some questions. Do you think it is possible to make a valid conclusion without even going through the process of investigation? What would you do if you were asked to make a decision that would affect many people? Many aspects in our life involve decisions. Mathematics helps us to make sense of the world in which we live in as we go about our daily lives. Fernandino Teens, Sit back and enjoy our topic for today, which is about reasoning in mathematics. Geometry deals with logical reasoning to prove a certain statement. Reasoning is a part of a much wider set of skills that are required to help us develop mathematically and allow us to think critically. In this lesson, you are expected to: first, we define reasoning. Next, identify the different types of reasoning and illustrate each with examples. For the third, differentiate the two major types of reasoning, the inductive reasoning and deductive reasoning. Last, use these two types in drawing conclusions. Let us define reasoning. Reasoning is generally seen as a means to improve knowledge and make better decisions. It is to devise and evaluate arguments intended to persuade. Therefore, the skills that we need to think critically are varied and include observation, analysis, interpretation, reflection, evaluation, inference, explanation, problem solving, and decision making. Logical thinking is the act of analyzing a situation and coming up with a sensible solution. It means using a systematic steps to arrive at a conclusion. The word logic comes from Greek word logike, which means reason. A logical text holds statements with reasons and evidence. A text is illogical when it does not provide reasons supported by evidence. To test your ability on logical reasoning, let us play an activity entitled LOL, League of Logic. For the directions, analyze and answer the following problems and choose the letter of the best answer. If you are watching via Kaganapang PHS TV, then you may type your answer on the comment box. Or if not, you may write your answer on a piece of paper. Are you ready for Nandino Teens? Let's get started! For the question on letter L, today is Monday. After 61 days, what day will it be? Letter A, Monday. Letter B, Tuesday. Letter C, Saturday. Letter D, Sunday. Did you get letter C, Saturday? If yes, then you are right. Each day of the week is repeated after 7 days. So, after 63 days, it will be Monday. After 61 days, it will be Saturday. For the question on letter O, which is different from the others? Letter A, Google. Letter B, Firefox. Letter C, Internet Explorer. Letter D, Safari. Excellent! The answer is letter A, Google. Google is a search engine while others are internet browsers. Although, Google has one web browser too, named as Chrome. For the third question under letter G, pointing to a man, a woman said, "His mother is the only daughter of my mother." How is the woman related to the man? Letter A, mother. Letter B, daughter. Letter C, sister. Letter D, grandmother. Nice! The answer is A, mother. The phrase, only daughter of my mother means herself. Thus, she is his mother. Let us have the question for letter I. A group of 1,200 persons consisting of captains and soldiers is traveling in a train. For every 15 soldiers, there is one captain. The number of captains in the group is letter A, 70, letter B, 75, letter C, 80, letter D, 85. Fantastic, Fernandino teens! The answer is letter B, 75. Generally, we may commit the mistake of dividing 1,200 by 15. But, of 16 persons, there is one captain. So, it will be 1,200 divided by 16 is equal to 75. For the last question under letter C, the question is an excerpt from Lewis Carroll's Through the Looking Glass. Alice met a lion and a unicorn. Suppose that the lion lies on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, and the unicorn lies on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. At all other times, both animals tell the truth. Alice has forgotten the day of the week during their travels through the forest of forgetfulness. The lion says to Alice, "Yesterday was one of my lying days." And the unicorn also replied to Alice, "Yesterday was one of my lying days too." What day of the week was it? Letter A, Monday. Letter B, Wednesday. Letter C, Thursday. Letter D, Saturday. We will answer this question when Fernandino Teens TV Season 2 returns. Stay tuned!
Ang Schools Division Office City of San Fernando, Pampanga ay kaisa ng Department of Education sa pagsasagawa ng mga proyekto at programa na tumutugon sa mga pangangailangan ng mga mag-aaral. Inilunsad ang Division Call Center for Tutors and Guidance Counselors upang magbigay ng educational at psychological assistance sa mga mag-aaral, magulang at stakeholders ng Division. Kaya, kung may nais kayong itanong tungkol sa pag-aaral, maaaring magpadala ng mensahe sa Division Call Center for Tutors and Guidance Counselors Facebook page o tumawag sa mga numero na makikita sa ibaba ng inyong screen tuwing Lunes hanggang Biyernes sa ganap na alas 8 ng umaga hanggang alas 6 ng gabi. Maaari rin kayong sumangguni sa ating guidance counselors na nagbibigay ng guidance and counseling services. Lahat ng inyong ibabahagi ay mananatiling confidential. Ang nasabing programa ay nagsisilbing daan upang malaman ang feedbacks ng stakeholders para matulungan ang ating divisyon na mapagbuti pa ang mga sumusunod na programa. Ano pang hinihintay ninyo? Tumawag na sa aming mga numero o bumisita na sa aming Facebook page at magpadala ng inyong mga katanungan.
Fernandino Teens TV.
Welcome back, Fernandino Teens. You are still with me, Ma'am Rosemary. A while ago, I left a question. What day of the week was it? If your answer is C, Thursday, then you are correct. Thursday is one of the lying days of the unicorn. Yesterday is a Wednesday, which is one of the lying days of the lion. And today, which is a Thursday, he is telling the truth. And 2 days after, Friday is Monday, which are both lying days of the lion. Reasoning is a very important skill in mathematics. The study of geometry aids us to reason logically and to improve our thinking power. Reasoning logically involves derivation of conclusion, that is, supported by statements that are generally accepted since they have been proven to be true in the past. It gives your mind challenges to think differently, which is like physical training. It keeps your mind healthy, like workout keeps your body fit. Among the many applications of geometry in our daily life, it is the geometric reasoning that plays a vital part. Geometric reasoning is the use of critical thinking, logical argument, and spatial reasoning to solve problems and find new relationships. The purpose of geometric reasoning is to determine results from previously established truths and then apply these results in the solution of problems. At this point, we will discuss the 4 types of reasoning. We can use them to arrive at a conclusion. Reasoning by intuition is a mental activity wherein a conclusion is made using one's senses and does not require mathematical proofs. It means we are arriving at a conclusion by guessing. Let us observe the given picture. Andre was able to conclude that his mother cooked his favorite calderetang manok with his sense of smell. Andre reasoned using his intuition, and this is the first type of reasoning. Let us have the next one. Can you tell which curve shown in the figure is the longest? By using our sense of sight, we conclude that the curve whose endpoints are C and D is the longest curve in the figure. Another example, Aloysius was blindfolded and was asked to determine what object was placed in the palm of his hand. Feeling the object, Aloysius guessed that it was a 1 peso coin since it was a metal, flat and round. He guessed right. Again, like in the previous example, Aloysius used reasoning by intuition. The next type of reasoning is reasoning by analogy. This type of reasoning assumes that when 2 objects are alike in one aspect, they shall also be alike in all aspects. It is a comparison between something new and something known. Arriving at a conclusion by comparison of similarity. You will find word analogies or verbal analogies used in standardized tests and sometimes in job interviews, where you must show the relationship between 2 objects or concepts using logic and reasoning. These analogies are set up in a standard format. Let us have our first example. In a test given in a social science class, the students were asked to fill in the blank to make the following statement true. Peso is to Philippines as blank is to Japan. Looking at the relationship between peso and Philippines, we know that peso is the currency used in the Philippines. Making the same relationship between the next 2 items, our answer would be yen, since it is the currency used in Japan. The answer to the test is derived using reasoning by analogy. Can you use analogy to complete the following statements, Fernandino teens? Let us try. You may write down your answers on a piece of paper or type your answer in the comment box if you are watching via Kaganapang PHS TV. Let us have item number 1. Teacher is to teaching as driver is to blank. If your answer is driving, then you are right. A teacher's job is teaching. Similarly, a driver's job is driving. Let us now proceed to item number 2. Modular learning is to printed SciPacs, as online learning is to blank. Fantastic, Fernandino teens! The correct answer is digitized SciPacs. In modular learning, students use the printed SciPacs, while in the online learning, learners use the digitized SciPacs. The third type of reasoning is frequently used by scientists and mathematicians as they derive laws and formulas. This is called reasoning by induction, which is a process of observing data, recognizing patterns, and generalizing from observation. The observation is then tested, and from this, a generalization is made, which is called a conjecture. In inductive reasoning, the knowledge begins with particular statements and then is generalized. It is a method of forming generalizations from particular statements by observing data and recognizing patterns. Therefore, it proceeds from specific to general statements. Let us see how to apply inductive reasoning with different examples. Let us begin by finding the next two terms on the given sequence. Let us have the first sequence. Given 1, 2, 4, 8, 16. What should be the next two terms? Great! The next two terms are 32 and 64. Each term except the first term is 2 times or twice the previous term. Now, let us proceed to the second sequence. Find the next two terms of 1, 4, 9, 16, 25. Fantastic, Fernandino teens! The 6th and 7th squared numbers are 36 and 49 respectively. For our last example, suppose a student review for an examination before going to sleep and again on waking up. When he or she took the test, he or she did very well. The student prepared the same way for the next two examinations in each case. He or she did very well. Applying induction, what can you conclude from the given situation? Great, Fernandino teens! Therefore, the student makes the conjectures that to do well in a test, you need to review before and after sleeping at night. Then, the conclusion is based on inductive reasoning. Finally, the last type of reasoning is called deduction, which is considered the inverse process of induction. To deduce means to reason from known facts. When you prove a theorem, you are using a deductive reasoning, using existing structure to deduce new parts of the structure. In deductive reasoning, you assume that the hypothesis is true, and then writes a series of statements that lead to the conclusion. Therefore, it proceeds from general to specific statements. The deductive process involves the stipulation of a specific statement based on a general statement that has been accepted to be true. Such an argument is known as syllogism. A simple syllogism is an argument made up of 3 statements: a major premise, which is the general statement, a minor premise, which is the particular statement, and both of which are accepted as true and the conclusion. Let us analyze the following sets of statements. In all three sets of statements, statement X is called the general statement, Y is called the particular statement, and Z is called the conclusion. For example, the general statement X is, if two numbers are odd, then their sum is even. Then, the particular statement Y is, the numbers 3 and 5 are odd numbers. What conclusion can you draw from these statements? Amazing, Fernandino teens! The conclusion should be the sum of 3 and 5 is an even number. In this syllogism, we reasoned from a statement about a general set to a statement about a particular member or element of that set. This kind of reasoning is characterized as reasoning from the general to particular, and it is called the deductive reasoning. After knowing the different types of reasoning, we will assess what you have learned, but let us have a short break when Fernandino Teens TV Season 2 returns. Stay tuned!
Maya po oras kaya kayo, Fernandinos. Ako pala ay Elwin Arl Serrano ng City Tourism Office ng Siyudad San Fernando. Ngayong bulan na ini, pagmasusyan tayo ang National Heritage Month na ating temang Victory and Humanity, Upholding Filipino Heritage and Identity. Kambena nini, metong karang aktibidades na ng siyudad, apin ng launching ng bayong Heritage Passport. Yung Heritage Passport, apin ng metong karing proyekto ng kaya katamong siyudad, yung pamanamuna ng Mayor Edwin D. Santiago. Anong nuka rin makalagelangan ding eganagan ng heritage sites, heritage structures, na akit tamo kin kay katamong heritage district. Makakayado din kini, ding importansya da ding mapil na tradisyon kay ni syudad, kalupa na ning pamangawang parol, ang po yung pamangalesa. May aho siyang heritage passport, uling atin kang dapat gawan, anong nukaran puntalan mo lading at yung passport, at saka ka mag-selfie. Kay ba't kanta, palto making tourism office, at mamiyalang sticker ka rin egan-agan ang apuntulan mong lugar. At timong may ngari ang tutong passport. Balo mi ngeni, panahon na ini, tamo makain bisa lumal, uli na ng COVID-19 pandemic. Kaya naman kimbanwa ngayon agkatan ko ding bikers tamo, edad 18 hanggang 50, imbis na lumaot kayo po, di na nyo lang dita ka oras di kaya katamong heritage structures, kaya ni syudad. Anya naman karing mumunang 50 bikers ang makayari kaya katamong heritage passport, midinan lang premium only San Fernando loot bag. Inggawan nyo mo bakit makapag-register, punta kayo mismo opisina na ng City Tourism, ng munisipyo, at saka kayo magdalang metong valid ID. Kabinan kaya kayong heritage passport, ating makasipit ang instruction nung nano pa ing dapat gawan. Anya naman ka rin hanggang kapadyakin, nanano ko pa, tara na!
Fernandino Teens TV.
Welcome back, Fernandino Teens. You are still tuned in at Fernandino Teens TV Season 2. A while ago, we discussed the different types of reasoning. Before we continue discussing the process of drawing a conclusion using the inductive and deductive reasoning, let us have a game in identifying the type of reasoning used. Are you ready? You may simply type the thumbs up emoji if the type of reasoning applied is intuition. Thumbs down if the type of reasoning is analogy. Heart emoji if the type of reasoning applied is induction. And care emoji for deduction. Item number 1. Man has 2 legs. Rainiel has 2 legs. Rainiel is a man. Very good. The correct answer is care emoji. Deduction. Next item. The fire must be a few meters away from our house. I can feel the heat. Terrific, Fernandino teens. The answer is thumbs up, intuition. Item number 3. Tree is to leaves as flower is to petals. If your answer is thumbs down, analogy, then you are right. For the 4th item, my teacher is intelligent. My last teacher is intelligent. Therefore, all teachers are intelligent. Amazing, Fernandino teens. The correct answer is heart emoji, induction. For the last item, the sum of any 2 even numbers is even. 24 and 36 are even numbers. Therefore, 24 plus 36 is equal to 60, and 60 is an even number. Fantastic! The answer is a care emoji, deduction. At this point, we will utilize the 2 major types of reasoning, the inductive and deductive reasoning, in drawing a conclusion from a given situation. Inductive reasoning is the process of arriving at a conclusion based on a set of observations. It is not a valid method of proof. Just because a person observes several situations in which a pattern exists does not mean that the pattern is true for all situations. The power of inductive reasoning, then, does not lie in its ability to prove mathematical statements. In fact, inductive reasoning can never be used to provide proofs. Instead, inductive reasoning is valuable because it allows us to form ideas about groups of things in real life. Together, let us explore some examples of inductive reasoning. Let us begin by carefully analyzing the figures. What do you think shall be the next? Looking at the first 3 squares, containing the triangles of different orientations, we can conclude by induction that the triangle is rotating in a clockwise direction. Using this general statement, we say that the 4th square shall contain this triangle. Do you have the same answer, Fernandino teens? Great! Let us have our second example. Study each number pattern. Then, state your findings by completing the conjecture. 12 plus 28 is equal to 40. 18 plus 14 is equal to 32. 4 plus 30 is blank. What conjecture can you draw from the given set of numbers? Notice that the addends in each given set are all even numbers and their sum is also an even number. Therefore, 4 plus 30 is equal to 34. So, the conjecture should be the sum of 2 even numbers is an even number. Last item, let us complete the following statement. The chair in the living room is red. The chair in the dining room is red. The chair in the bedroom is red. Therefore, what conclusion can you draw from the given statements? Terrific, Fernandino teens. The conclusion should be, therefore, all the chairs in the house are red. In some parts of the house, it was mentioned that the chairs in those locations are red. So, one can conclude that all chairs in the house are red using inductive reasoning. Since inductive reasoning can lead to an invalid conclusion, mathematicians confirm their conclusions by deductive reasoning. They do not accept conclusion until it has been verified. Deductive reasoning is a type of reasoning which makes use of accepted rules of logic. It uses a theory or generalization you believe is correct to rationalize a logical, specific conclusion, commonly known as moving from general to specific or top-down thinking, an example most people have encountered at one time. Let us begin with example number 1. The general statement is right angles are congruent. Then, the particular statement is angle 1 and angle 2 are right angles. Therefore, what is the conclusion for the given statements or argument? We know for a fact that all right angles have the same measurement, which is 90. Therefore, we can conclude that angle 1 and angle 2 are congruent. For the second example, we will identify the general statement or the major premise of the syllogism. The particular statement is, Fur and Non are diligent students. The conclusion is, Fur and Non answer the modified assessment of their SIPACs completely. What is the general statement of the given argument? Excellent, Fernandino teens. Diligent students answer the modified assessment of their SIPACs completely. In this example, the general statement is missing. Connecting the two premises given, we can come up with a major premise. Last item, provide a conclusion to the following. The general statement is, according to the World Health Organization, the most common symptoms of COVID-19 are fever, dry cough, sore throat, tiredness, and nasal congestion. Then, the particular statement is, the lady has a fever and is suffering from dry cough, sore throat, and nasal congestion. Therefore, what is the conclusion for the given statement or argument? We know for a fact that the common symptoms of COVID-19 are fever, dry cough, sore throat, tiredness, and nasal congestion. Therefore, we can conclude that the lady is infected of COVID-19 virus or coronavirus disease. Do you have the same answer, Fernandino teens? Very good. After knowing all about inductive and deductive reasoning in an argument, let us study about proof. What do you think is the meaning of proof? It can be mathematical or geometry proof. Geometry proofs follows a series of intermediate conclusions that lead to a conclusion. Simple proofs are expressed in an if-then form statements. Here is a very simple example using the line segments. For this proof, H is the midpoint of line segment PS. We must prove that segment PH is equal to segment SH. Now, you may be thinking that it is obvious. If H is the midpoint of segment PS, then the length of segment PH is the same as the length of segment SH. Hence, the midpoint of a segment is a point that lies on the segment such that it divides the segment into two equal lengths wherein every segment has exactly one midpoint. Of course, you could be right, but that is not how the proof game is played. You must spell out every little step in your thinking, so your argument does not have any gaps. Here is the whole chain of logical deductions. If H is the midpoint of line segment PS, which is the hypothesis, then PH is equal to SH will be the conclusion. Since the distance of PH is equal to the distance of SH, we say that point H is a point in the middle of point P and point S. and is therefore called the midpoint of PS. Hence, the midpoint of a segment is a point that lies on the segment that divides the segment into two equal lengths. Therefore, we are able to conclude that the distance or length of segment PH is equal to the distance or length of segment SH by the definition of midpoint. For the last example, if angle A and angle B are complementary as the hypothesis, then what conclusion can you draw? If you conclude that the sum of the measures of angle A and angle B is equal to 90 degrees, then you are right. What may be the corresponding reason for this conclusion? Correct. We have concluded that the sum of their measures is 90 degrees by the definition of complementary angles. Hence, complementary angles are angle pairs whose sum of their measures is 90 degrees. When we come back, we will use our knowledge on these two major types of reasoning and supply the valid conclusion and its corresponding reason for a given statement as we answer the next activity. Stay tuned, Fernandino Teens!
Hindi lamang sa larangan ng pangkabuhayan apektado ang maraming pamilyang Pilipino, kundi maging sa larangan ng pagkatuto ng bawat batang Pilipino. Inilunsad ng siyudad ng San Fernando ang programang Nurturing Environment and System for Thriving or NEST, isang education community pantry na naglalayon para sa isang malawakang pagtulong, pagantabay at paggabay na ang focus ay ang makapagbigay ng tulong at suporta sa ating mga mag-aaral sa pamamagitan ng pagbibigay ng educational needs gaya na lamang ng school supplies, tutorial sessions, study tips, at iba pang mga pamamaraan na mas lalong makatutulong sa pag-angat ng ating edukasyon. Dahil hindi hadlang ang pandemya sa magandang kinabukasang naghihintay sa ating mga mag-aaral. Sino-sino nga ba ang mga kalahok sa programang ito? Sa pagtutulungan ng ating school administrators, guro, magulang, at iba pang mga miyembro ng ating komunidad gaya ng barangay officials at sangguniang kabataan ay siguradong magiging mas matagumpay ang programang ito. Paano nga ba ang magiging proseso ng naturang programa? Una, magkakaroon tayo ng isang Facebook group, ang Pampanga High School NEST Education Community Pantry na pangungunahan ng Educational Pantry Coordinator. Ang mga magulang, tagapangalaga at mga guro ay ia-add ng ating Educational Pantry members sa Facebook group na ito. Sa page na ito, maaaring i-post ng mga magulang at tagapangalaga o sino mang miyembro ng Educational Pantry ang kanilang mga kahilingan o requests. Kailangan ding ilagay ang pangalan ng mag-aaral, grade at section para sa mas agarang aksyon. Oo nga pala, hindi lang requests ang pwedeng i-post. Pwede ring mag-post ang mga nais magbigay ng tulong o mga gustong mag-donate. Sabi nga nila, sharing is caring. Tandaan na ang Facebook group na ito ay pribado at posts na may kaugnayan lamang sa page na ito ang maaaprobahan. Mayroon din palang Google Form na ipamamahagi kung saan maaari nating isumite ang ating requests o kahilingan. Paano naman ang mga walang internet access sa bahay? Huwag mangamba dahil merong mga nakalaang drop boxes ang ating paaralan na kung saan maaaring ihulog ng mga magulang at tagapangalaga ang kanilang requests. Sa mga nais namang mag-donate ng school supplies, maaaring ilagay ang mga ito sa tabi ng drop boxes. Maaari ring mag-donate ng mga kagamitan o cash donation kaakibat ang pagsusumite ng deed of donation form. Pangalawa, mahalaga ang ugnayan ng mga guro at ng mga magulang o tagapangalaga sa programang ito. Gamit ang video calls o chats ay ipahahayag ng mga guro ang adhikain ng programang ito sa mga magulang o tagapangalaga. Maaari ring gawin ang orientation na ito ng face-to-face kasabay ng schedule ng kuhanan ng mga module. Gaya ng nabanggit, hindi lamang mga bagay ang maaaring i-donate. Pwede ring mag-conduct ng tutorial session, study tips, at iba pang mga kagamitan sa pagkatuto gaya ng mga aklat o kaya ay gadgets. Ikatlo, ang requested needs ng ating mga magulang o tagapangalaga ay ililista ng ating NEST focal person. Ang mga coordinator naman ang mag-aayos ng mga ito. Ang advisors ng ating mga mag-aaral, guidance counselor, at iba pang mga guro ay ipaaalam sa ating mga magulang at tagapangalaga ang petsa at oras ng pamimigay ng requested needs na gaganapin sa paaralan. Sabi nga nila, it takes a village to raise a child. Kaya naman aktibo at iba yung pakikilahok ang inaasahan sa pagsasanib puwersa ng paaralan at barangay na siyang tutukoy sa pangangailangan ng bawat Fernandinong mag-aaral at kikilos upang matugunan ito sa tulong at suporta rin ng mga miyembro ng komunidad. Isang malawakang komunidad para sa isang produktibong educational community pantry ay tiyak na lilikha ng iba yung pagkilos upang maging mas magaan at madali ang pagkatuto ng bawat kabataang Fernandino. Kaya naman tandaan, magbigay ayon sa kakayahan, kumuha ayon sa pangangailangan.
Fernandino Teens TV.
Welcome back to Fernandino Teens TV Season 2. At this point, let us apply the different concepts that we have learned by answering the next activity entitled Festival Trail. Pampanga is the home of best tasting Filipino dishes of all time. That is why it's called the culinary capital of the Philippines. However, Pampanga is not just about famous dishes, but also known for holding some of the grandest and jaw-dropping festivals in the whole country. Do you want to experience them, Fernandino teens? Since we are still experiencing COVID-19 pandemic, let us do them virtually for the meantime. So come and join me, have the festival trail. In each station, which is each festival, I will be asking you to draw the conclusions to the given statements and give the corresponding reason before you can move and experience another festival here in Pampanga. If you are watching via Kaganapang PHS TV, you may type your answer on the comment box. Or if not, then you may write your answer on a piece of paper. Just type the conclusion for each given argument. Identify the type of reasoning and corresponding reason. Are you ready, Fernandino teens? Let us begin. Let us travel to Lobao, Pampanga for the first festival. The town of Lobao is known for its annual hot air balloon festival. So we have here our question number 1. Filipinos are hospitable. Juan is a Filipino. Therefore, what should be the conclusion that you can draw from the given statements? If the conclusion that you have drawn is Juan is hospitable, then you are right. What type of reasoning is applied? Correct, deductive reasoning. Let us now move on to Apalit, Pampanga with the famous Apong Iro Fluvial Festival. It is the feast day of the town's patron, Saint Peter. The local term Apong Iro refers to the image of Saint Peter. For the second question, a quadrilateral is a polygon with 4 sides. A parallelogram is a quadrilateral. Therefore, what conclusion can be drawn from the argument? Amazing, Fernandino teens! A conclusion for the argument is a parallelogram is a polygon with 4 sides. What type of reasoning is used? If your answer is deductive reasoning, then you are right. Come and join me travel to experience the wonderful festival in Minalin, Pampanga. The town of Minalin is known for the New Year's Aguman Sanduk Festival, where the straight men of the town dress up as beauty queens and have a parade. Question number 3. Points R, M, and N lie on the same line. Points R, M, and N are collinear. Therefore, what is the best conclusion, Fernandino teens? Fantastic! All points lying on the same line are collinear. What type of reasoning is applied? Very good, Fernandino teens. Inductive reasoning. For the next destination, we have the town of Santo Tomas, Pampanga. It is known for the annual Easter Sunday Flower Scattering Festival or Sabuaga Festival. The celebration is done in celebration of the Virgin Mary and Jesus. Let us have the 4th question. Supply a valid conclusion for the given hypothesis and the corresponding reason. The given hypothesis is angle PQR is a right angle. What conclusion can be drawn from the statement? Very good, Fernandino teens. The correct answer is the measure of angle PQR is equal to 90 degrees. What corresponding reason will justify this conclusion? Excellent definition of right angles. This time, let us explore the festival celebrated in our very own municipality, City of San Fernando, Pampanga. Let us have the best festival in Pampanga, the Giant Lantern Festival in San Fernando, Pampanga, where decorations for the Christmas season such as lanterns, nativity scenes, and other are widely made. Therefore, San Fernando is called the Christmas capital of the Philippines. For the last question, the measure of angle X added to the measure of angle Y is equal to 180 degrees. What do you think must be the conclusion? You got it right, Fernandino teens. The best conclusion is angle X and angle Y are supplementary angles. Why do you think so, Fernandino teens? You are so brilliant. This is because of the definition of supplementary angles. Were you able to get the correct answers? Good job, Fernandino teens. Now let me share to you some applications of reasoning in real-life situations. Deductive reasoning in the workplace requires the following skills. First, problem solving. Second, teamwork. Third, customer service. Can you think of some tips on how you can improve your deductive reasoning skills? Amazing, Fernandino teens! Did you learn something today? Here are the references of this episode. Again, this is Ma'am Rosemarie Serafica BONDOC, your virtual grade 8 mathematics teacher. May you continue to learn, have fun, and love mathematics. Thank you for watching Fernandino Teens TV Season 2. Thank you and God bless everyone!
Ang galing naman ni ma'am. Ngayon, alam ko na kung paano ipaliwanag ang ating report sa klase.
Oo nga, ngayon madadalian na tayong i-present ang ating report tungkol sa pagkakaiba ng inductive reasoning sa deductive reasoning.
Marami rin ba kayong natutuhan, Fernandino teens? Kaya naman,
Maraming salamat, ma'am.
Isa na namang makabuluhang talakayan ng ating natunghayan, Fernandino Teens.
samahan niyo ulit kami sa susunod na episode ng Fernandino
Teens
TV,
Season 2.
kung saan ang kabataang Fernandino ay angat sa angking talino.
Bagong umaga, yakapin mo ang bagong pag-asa. Simulan mong abutin ang iyong pangarap na magbibigay dangal sa iyong bukas. Ang suliranin, hindi laging nandyan, dapat mong harapin. Kami iyong kasama sa bawat takin, magkaakbay nating lulutasin. Dito sa Fernandino Teens TV, ang boses mo ay mahalaga. Dito sa Fernandino Teens TV, ikaw lagi ang bida. Ang mga aral ay ginintuang atin ng bawat guro na siyang gagabay sa iyong pagkamulat. Naway umukit ito sa iyong isipan, maging mapanuri, sundin ng wasto at nararapat. Kagandahan